Welcome to another episode of What's the Status, Travis. Y'all know the vibes. I'm your host, Trav. The reason why you see me by myself so much is I'm trying to deliver more content. With that being said, it doesn't mean the gang is out. Shout out Just Ray Don't Play. Shout out my boy Alejandro. All right. Obviously they doing dad things. Figured my little nephew. Shout out Baby Ali. Got sectionals tomorrow. Hopefully they win over there at Nottingham. Sorry about that. Gotta clear my throat, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we here, man. But you know, the show must go on. I'm trying to give y'all two a week. One with just myself, obviously another with the rest of the gang. But let's get to it, man. You know we need, especially I need my drink. It's been a full year, man. It's been a full year since I started the pod. Now, with that being said, we got 301 subscribers as of today. About 150 something videos up on my YouTube channel right now. So it's a slow grind, but it's more of a passion of mine and a passion grind for me. So anything you love doing is worth doing, no matter what the outcome is. But with that being said, man, we gotta have our drink, but we gotta have our drink for my cuz, man. What we gonna do is we gonna play the instrumental of my cuz. Shout out Train. We're going to take a shot to Train, and then we're going to get this shit rolling. All right. I think I lost connection somewhere, so we shall see soon. But till then, give me 1 second, y'all. We're going to try and get back to it. All right, we back. I apologize. But we are back. Welcome to another episode of What's the... I am your host, Travis McLeod. As I said before, we're going to give you 2 every week. Hopefully, I'm trying to give y'all more content. With that being said, my boys ain't here, but shout out to them. Alejandro, of course, my man, Just Ray Don't Play. But we here, man. If you didn't hear right there before, I definitely just had to play something for my boy Train. And I wanted to start off the pod by just remembering him. You feel what I'm saying? I went before, if you ain't see it, when I first started last year, about a year ago, I did a tribute to my cousin, man. Very bright young man. Always very influential to me, always very inspiring to me. So again, man, I played Imaginary Players, the beat for that, the Train. But let's get to it, man. All right, man. Here at What's the Status, Travis. You know how we do. We usually got a word or thought of the day. Before we get to that, I do got a few special birthday shout outs that I do have to give. One going to my niece, Rolly. All these goddamn October babies. Shit is crazy. They done broke my pockets. Shout out to my nephew, the Kingermans. Happy belated birthday as well, too. And last but not least, of course, my sunshine, my baby boy, the Trizzy Mac, Tristan McLeod, turned 8. My boy turned 8, man. That means I'm getting old, man. All right, bro. Happy birthday to him. Well, look, man, let's get to it. As I said, we have a word, phrase, or thought of the day. Today was more of like a question. You know what I'm saying? Today was more about, where do men stash the bad days? I know that sounds a little bit weird, so I'll repeat it one more time. Where do men stash the bad days? It was more of a question. It came upon around this time because, obviously, as I said before, it's been a year since my boy passed away. With that being said, I feel like it came so fast. You know what I mean? I feel like once the year started to come around, it became a little bit more difficult for not me to completely function, but for me to just escape what he meant to me, the feelings that were there, and a few of those days and bad days stacked up. But then it had me thinking, it's like, for us, society usually tells us there ain't really no space for that. Wake up in the morning, strap your boots, go back to work. There's really not a safe space for you to necessarily express those feelings truthfully and wholeheartedly, but also just not a space in general for y'all to get that off or put that away. You know what I mean? And I think in the world we living in today with so many emotionally non-intelligent young men, if we don't find a space to stash the bad days and stash the information that we learn from them, or put those in the stash and learn what we need to take from it and what we need to leave there, it always breeds for a ticking time bomb. It's funny, I watched this movie over the weekend called House of Dynamite, which was fucking good until the last ending, which made it horrible. I feel like I wasted 2 hours of my life. But it was basically building a House of Dynamite. It was basically about all of the other countries, building up their arms and all of that, and basically just waiting for them to explode. It's like you build all of these houses of dynamite, just waiting for them to, at some point, or waiting for somebody to make their first move. And for me, it kind of resonated pertaining to where do men stash the bad days, because if you don't find a safe space, specifically as a man, specifically as a black man in America, to stash those bad days or filter out what you could get good from them, or have somebody you could converse with, or have a group of men that you could converse with about your issues that are really fucking with you, you become a house of dynamite. You know what I mean? You become a ticking time bomb. You become somebody that becomes irritable. And ultimately, fellas, it's just the truth, man. If you don't take care of you, you can't be that provider you want to be. If you don't take care of you, if you don't take care of your mental, you can't be the best man or the best version of yourself that society already expects us to be, regardless if we got issues or not, right? I hope that y'all have people that you could talk to. I hope that you have significant others that provide you that safe space to do so. I hope you got significant others that don't only pour onto you what their bad day was at work, but you have the space to give them what yours was as well. I hope that you have people in your life where, again, you can stash the bad days as a man, but specifically as an African American man in this world, because there's really not a lot of place for us. It's funny though, because we do have to walk a thin line, because the reality in the real world, maybe this is cynical or not, it just seems to me that they don't give a fuck about your bad days anyway, right? At the end of the day, you're still expected to show up 110% yourself, and the minute that you don't, you're held accountable for that. And as a man should, you know what I mean? But the only way we can combat that, fellas, is by allowing ourselves a space to stash them bad days, man. Because we all have them, and they stack up. And when we don't take care of them in the right way, it ends up not only being bad and detrimental for us, but the people that we say we love and care for. And ultimately are on this earth to provide and care for as well. So again, just reiterating, just find a space to stash those bad days as a Black man, all right? Also, it's just like kind of a reminder, like, yo, bro, life is fickle too. You know what I mean? You got to live to the best of it, but you also got to live it free. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us wake up in a space where we are making a lot of decisions based on how other people will feel. And I just think that sometimes, like I said, you got to, in order to create a space, a space for you to feel and do what you need to, you definitely need to make sure that you all of who you are. And sometimes that means picking yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, life is precious. Life is fickle. It's so weird because in one day, Trizzy Mack is born. It's the 26th of November. And then on the next day, it's the 27th. And I got to mourn somebody that was dear to my heart. So that's why you just got to live it, man. If there's any other example, and I'm sure all of us that have gone through death or just had the blessing to live as long as we have, to this point, have experienced some sort of loss and some sort of life being brought into the world. I just think we got to love it all and take all of those things in perspective, but ultimately, just make sure we taking care of us first and foremost. All right, man, let's get to some more lighthearted shit. While we're here, man, not so quick hits. We're gonna get to these not so quick hits, man. First off, this NBA gambling shit, I'm gonna make it relatively quick. There's been a lot of people talking about it already. But for me, there's layers to this shit, right? It's like if the mob is involved, I think it's bigger than just Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, who are allegedly mixed up in the scandal itself. Is way bigger than them. You know what I mean? And ultimately, at some point when you play that game, I've watched enough true crime, I've watched enough mob documentaries to know that it only takes you to do one deed for them to have you. You know what I mean? Does it make it any excuse? I don't think so. On the other side, I'm looking at men who have made millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, making choices that not only are a detriment to themselves, the reputation that they've built up until this point, but also just to the legacies that they've built as well. When you think of Chauncey Billups, I don't think it's, for me personally, if you're a basketball fan, I don't think it's going to do nothing. I think gambling has been around for a while. I think gambling is, now that it's legal and the government needs their parts, they're going to be watching things significantly more closely. So I don't think, I don't look at it from that perspective. However, just the stain that I think it will put on the NBA, the stain that I guess it's going to put on Chauncey's name, the fact that he was a coach just building his career. I think this was his first head coaching job. He's been there for a few years though. To not be able to coach in the league, that could be possible. You know what I mean? To not be able to be around the game that you love and gave so much to. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, if when I'm making millions already from the career I've had and millions from the career I have right now pertaining to coaching and playing, you just got to ask yourself, man, is it worth the gamble? You know what I mean? On the other side of that, I see gambling is an addiction. It's fun. There's a lot of these men that come from neighborhoods where that was their recreation of choice. You know what I'm saying? I know when I was younger, I wasn't the biggest gambler, but shit, even from where we from, niggas would bring the dice out at a at a bar mitzvah if there was one. Niggas would bring the dice out after you know what I'm saying, at a repass. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too naive or too locked into what the scandal is to be thinking that these aren't just some normal things that people do. But it's bigger than just backing out the crap table after, you know what I'm saying, at a cookout, than inviting people to your house based off of your name to come there and just be locked into a complete cheating situation pertaining to poker. Crazy shit is the glasses look like some shit from the glasses look like some shit from Mission Impossible or some shit. Look like some shit from like from, you know what I'm saying, from Jason Bourne or some shit. Like these was x-rays. They could see through the card. You showing them the back of your card, they can see what your card is on the other end. They had spotters. Like the shit was very intricate. What I can say is, man, clearly there's big money at play now that the bigger corporations and companies are profiting off of betting. You figure ESPN got its own betting app and all this other shit. Like you got to be stupid to think that if you're trying to do something this big, that the eyes ain't already on you, and they probably just walking you down, letting you do what you do until they get you. However, y'all let me know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all think about it? However, I just best of luck to them fellas. The other thing, best of luck to them boys, man. Just give me one of y'all game checks. I'll be straight for life. I just need one of you niggas game checks. All right. Speaking of game checks, not so quick hit. This is very quick, but I just think this was astounding. Cam Newton was on a podcast, and the nigga said he was making $730,000 a game. Can you imagine going to fucking bank account the next morning and just seeing one time, nigga? Okay, let me see that deposit once. It's over. I'm good money. My man's got to see that shit for 17 games of a season. 730 plus thousand. Shit was fucking absolutely insane. That's why I'm saying, like, when you make this amount of money, man, you gotta ask yourself, what is the gamble for? Man, like, fuck. You don't need it. But to each their own. The next one I had to get to was I really wasn't familiar with this story when it first came out. But if you haven't watched, it's just simple as it gets. Please go watch Perfect Neighbor. Shit is devastating. I ain't even gonna hold you. I shed a few tears to this one, man. Just watching them kids figure out the result of this horrible Perfect Neighbor's actions. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. But yeah, man, it's powerful, and it also ultimately just brings me to ask the question, like, as much as we want kids to be kids, is it safe for them to just be that anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just thinking myself over the summer, it's like you get to see my nephew and them over where I grew up playing basketball and shit like that. And it was just beautiful to see 10, 12 kids outside. You really usually don't see that no more. But ultimately, like, I just don't know what drives somebody to look at kids having innocent fun and to fuck that up. Like, you got to be a different type of stupid, a different type of dumb, and a different type of miserable to do that. You know what I mean? But for real, man, you got to check it. It also made me think, like I said, I watch a lot of crime shit. When you look at, they got this shit called Fear Thy Neighbor. It's like you see so many instances where neighbors is offing each other and neighbors is having beefs. And yeah, you could say just move, but why should either have to move from a place, I guess, that they call their home or that they built to be their home, right? I mean, apartment, that's different. But if it's like a house or home that you invested in, I can fully understand why you would like to stand your ground and stay where you are, but never to the extent of where we taking each other's lives. But the bigger thing for me is, like, where is the neighbor, like, laws? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, if I call a police officer multiple times to a situation that is clearly not being cleared up, we got to come to some sort of arrangement, some sort of agreement that's going to be enforced, that's going to allow there to be some sort of peace. But for me, I just feel like the response in this particular documentary was very lax. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew what the issue was. They got multiple calls there multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just something crazy. But if you get a chance, please go make sure that you watch The Perfect Neighbor. Last not so quick hit. We got Disney World has 2 deaths in 2 weeks. Now listen, man. Disney World, I don't know where these shits is at. I think Disneyland is California. Disney World is in Florida, I believe. Listen, dog. I know that shit crazy to me. And my thing is, you don't ever be hearing no shit about that, nothing like that. I just caught this shit on a whim. But at the end of the day, man, the amusement parks, I didn't stop getting on roller coasters, all that shit. That shit was just alarming to me. I think I'm gonna have to bring it back up when I talk to the fellas. But there was more details that I'm going to need people to bounce information off with. So last not so quick hit was Disney World. Got 2 deaths in 2 weeks. To me, that was very alarming. The other one, last but not least, that wasn't the last one, but last but not least is your boy Wembanyama is going crazy in the NBA right now. 3 games, averaging 33, and I believe 10 boards or 15 boards and like 6 blocks. The nigga's going insane. So right now I'm going to say relatively early. We could be seeing the next person thrown in the conversation for who's that dude. Damn, man, these scenarios I would love to get to. Well, look, I got a scenario that I just want to charge to y'all. We're going to bring it up. And when I post it, y'all can react to it as well, too. But the question is, if you are a significant other of a male or female that has kids, and you are there, okay, doing what you need to do. This is no personal. This is fully a hypothetical. And this part of the episode is called What's the Scenario? Okay, here we go. Yo, but do we expect the stepkids to tell us if they mama cheating?
Chill, bro.
I don't know how I would see it, right? On one hand, it's like good looking out. You know I'm here. You know step pops is, you know what I'm saying? Here for you. You know I've been doing the thing and all the things right. But then on the flip side, it's like if they do tell on their mama, it's like, where's your loyalty? Like who you supposed to really be with? Right? It's crazy. So I asked the world, man. If you are a significant other and you are there for your stepkids and they mama, they biological parent ends up doing some foul shit and they know about it, do we expect the stepkids to tell on their mappy? Okay.
Chill, bro.
That's what I'm asking y'all. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's the clip. That's what we're gonna be talking about for the next week. Y'all let me know. Does it depend? Does it depend on what the relationship is? Does it depend on if they, you know what I'm saying, if you're there, if you do this much finance? Does finance matter? Does time matter? Like what matters is what I'm asking y'all. So to the world, scenario, y'all give me the answers. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Should they be telling on their mammy and pappy if they treating their step parent foul, or should they hold it down for their biological parent? Y'all let me know. Next thing going on though, this shit kind of got me. Also, I want to bring to y'all as well too. This was the scenario, so I'm gonna read it to you. See how it came off. Woman had an active father. Father, without being on child support, without doing anything, gave his kid mother $1,000 a week. At some point, she was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take him for child support. Takes him for child support, believing that the judge would offer her more money. However, when she goes to court, the judge only offers her $269 a month. And now the dad does not want to pay the $1,000 that he was sticking to. BM says, oh, I thought it was about the kids. I thought I was doing things right. Well, Johnny or Jenny, Johnny did the right thing. Jenny, you fucked up. To me personally, child support is for inactive motherfuckers, whether it be female or male, because I know a lot of times it's just predicted that it's going to be the male, and in this scenario specifically it is. But you fucked up. If he's in the lot, if he's an active father, he's there for all things, giving you $1,000 a week. On top of, I know when he has his kids, if he's giving you $1,000 a week, is more than that, which we don't even need to count because they're his kids. That's why he was giving you the money he was giving you without even thinking about it or having to go to that point. For you to then take him to child support isn't an act of you trying to do things right. It's an act of greed. And it's an act or lack thereof of communication between you and said father. Now, obviously, if he's giving you $1,000 a week, and from your words, he's an active father, you asking him, to me, from where I'm at, and ladies, if you see this when it comes out, give me a different perspective. It seems that y'all could have worked that out. But I think when you take the step of going to court, I think automatically, whether you meant this or you did not mean it, it automatically gives that parent a feeling of the parent deems me or sees me as not doing enough, not adequate, or not as present. And for me, if I'm an active parent, again, male or female, and I'm getting brought to court when I know I'm there all the time and doing what I need to do as well as being there for you, I would take that as a slap in the face as well. Now, granted, the crazy thing is, I feel you. $1,000 a week to $269 a month is a drastic $800 to $700, you know what I'm saying, deficit. However, you put yourself in that spot. And two, your kids ain't gonna want for nothing. And three, if he's an active father and you feel like they need that much, send them over there to live with dad. You know what I mean? Now, that is easier said than done. I know it sounds good in theory. And it might not be that easy, but I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. Y'all giving me y'all comments and what y'all believe. The right, if that was right, was it an act of greed? Did she have the right to go? Is $1,000 enough for child support for a kid? I think that's relevant to what you guys are doing in life and what your bills are. But y'all let me know. All right. All right, moving forward, man. Unpopular opinions. I need to let y'all women know something relatively quickly. Okay. I was reading this meme. Meme states, yo, I love a I got it ass nigga. Okay. Don't ask no questions. I got it. And then the girl said, well, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get something else too. We all can assume it was some sex. All right. My unpopular opinion is, although it is great and the power of the PUSSY is real, all I'm going to say to you is this: it is the most unthoughtful present to give a man. That's all I'm going to say. Offering the box is only, it's the most unthoughtful thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not guaranteed, right? So it is pleasant. And I don't think any man would turn such thing down, right? However, it's the most unthoughtful thing, because then I saw another meme right after. Well, actually, to answer the comment to that meme. And when she said, you know what else you gonna get because you got it all the time, the man in the comments said the same thing you gave the man who didn't have it all the time.
Chill, bro.
And it got me thinking, right? It got me thinking a little bit. It's thrown out there so much like, that's exactly what he needs. That's exactly what he wants. Both ways, too. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's just the most unthoughtful gift you could give somebody. There ain't to it. Because you know he wants it, so you're just going to give it to him. Secondly, it ain't like it's only been his for the whole, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like you ain't made it a present in other places. You feel what I'm saying to you? So y'all let me know. Do we think that sex or offering sex, female to male, is a thoughtful present? To me, it's the most unthoughtful present. Y'all talk to me.
Chill, bro.
You feel me? But I like, you know what I'm saying? It's one, you can put it in there in the mix. Something, you know what I'm saying? Something else got to give. Something else got to give. Now, granted, let me back real quick because that sounds a little crazy. If you're my woman and I'm choosing to just pay for it, okay, of course I got it, right? And maybe it's not a present. I'm doing what I'm going to do regardless. But don't throw it in there like it's a present. You know what I'm saying? It's thoughtful, but it ain't a present.
Chill, bro. Chill.
All right. Oh, I had a few more unpopulars, but I'm gonna wait for them to go. I wanted to start this last part off when we get the topics or whatever. And listen, man. Emotional intelligence and accountability is kind of what I'm getting back to, is what I was talking to about earlier. But emotional intelligence and accountability will save a man's life. It's kind of what I said earlier. It's like, we got to know what's worth crashing out about. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that comes from a place of us being younger, carrying thoughts and beliefs into our manhood that at sometimes are detrimental to our growth. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not telling nobody to take nothing from nobody, right? I'm not encouraging nobody to be a rug or encouraging anybody to endure things that they deem they can't disrespect. They can't. Things they deem is disrespectful, I'm not asking y'all to endure that, right? However, we also, even though we don't have to tolerate disrespect, how we respond to that is pivotal. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 36, I got a kid I got to make sure I can get home to every day, right? And that don't mean I'm ducking all smoke, but then again, all smoke don't deserve to become fire. That bitch out if you can. So I say that to say, man, a lot of us, specifically now in age, like, it's just so quick. I work in a place where the first idea, the first thought of defense is to body somebody. You know what I'm saying? I work in a place where kids are taking each other's lives at an alarming rate over absolutely nothing, or what we deem in our life or what they deem to be important or disrespectful. You know what I mean? And it's sad to see. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young lives is getting lost both ways, literally losing their lives, and then the other ones are finding themselves locked up or in situations that they shouldn't necessarily be in, and end up locked up for the rest of their life or dead. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, but that takes a space of being a leader, a space of having those places to stash your bad days, having people that you could talk to, are real people who got your best interest at heart. Anybody that will throw you or run you or send you on anything that's not at your best interest really ain't fucking with you. They really don't give a fuck about you. I put up something earlier where it was just basically talking about like support and fake friends and things of that nature. And just one of the things that was pivotal within what I heard and what I already know and I've been saying, and a lot of y'all have. So I'm not speaking to nobody, to y'all, as if y'all not aware. But you know what I mean? Like, anybody that will lead you to do wrong, one, but also not be there for you or encourage you when you do right, just ain't for you, bro. Just ain't there for you. You know what I'm saying? And also it's up to us to know, with emotional intelligence and accountability, to know how far to go with each person. If I got people in front of me that have shown me on multiple occasions they don't fuck with me and I choose to keep them around me, is it their fault that I get fucked over, or is it mine? It's gotta be mine, right? Because you choosing to keep giving things or keep the people around you to people please or to fit in or to deem yourself a certain way that you know these niggas or bitch or female, excuse me, are ain't for you. A lot of them use you as entertainment, right? Oh, he'll do this or she'll do this. Let me watch you go crash out so it's entertaining to me. A lot of people smile in your face, wait for your downfall, and be in the barbershop talking about you the week after. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying to you, a part of being emotionally intelligent and accountable is, and also just being aware, is you got to be accountable for your emotions and accountable for who you allow to trigger those. You get what I'm saying? You got to know who's going to, and it's about being aware of that. There's some people in my life that just annoy the fuck out of me. And if I'm around them, it's not going to be able, it's hard for me to, I'm good at navigating it, but it's hard for me to hide as if they don't annoy the fuck out of me, right? So is it on them if I put myself around them and some shit pop, or is it on me? You get what I'm saying? I have a right to be there for sure, but ultimately I got to be more aware, because I don't have to be nowhere I don't want to be. I don't got to be nowhere I'm not welcome. I don't got to be nowhere I don't fuck with nobody. And I think I'm talking to y'all about this because I'm learning that in real time, right? And it's nothing personal to nobody, but I think just in my growth as a human being, fuck a man, but just as a human being, it's learning that. It's like, what do you want next to you? What don't you want next to you? How much can you have certain things next to you? How much can you not? Who's really there in your corner? Who's really not? And it's not pertaining to anything specific, like who's watching this or following this or talking about this or talking about that. It's just about seeing how people are moving, seeing how they respond to you, seeing how they receive what you're doing in life, and if they are at least encouraging or just supportive in that state. You know what I'm saying? If they support you through thick and thin, if they could be if they could be if they have the mental capacity to understand where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? A lot of times we keep people around off of the nostalgia of us needing to be locked in all the time. Like, specifically men too. Like, our friendships are really surface level. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really multiple times you can, there's a few friends I think we all got. I think I'm blessed to have a good crew myself, but I think a lot of us, even in that, a lot of us don't spend a lot of time like, yo, my man, fuck going on, how you feeling for real, and all that. And it don't happen because we got this masculine thought process that we don't need to talk about feelings. We don't need to have a spot to get that shit off, or we don't, it's less manly to have that conversation. You know what I mean? And a lot of times those are us stacking bad days as opposed to stashing them in places where are safe, where we can go back to the stash and grab what we need from there to learn from, or just leave shit in there to remember to know how not to move, or how to move with people from moving forward, right? But I say that to say, like, bro, we have to be intelligent and accountable about our emotions. We have to be very honest with ourselves about them, be aware of them, and then dictate who you bring around you in order to allow yourself to have peace and be the best person you could be. You know what I'm saying? If we always around people that ain't good for us, but we putting ourselves in that space or in that situation for the better of them and not for us, we always, every day, you just taking away from you. Every day you chipping away from whatever armor or whatever powers you got. You feel what I'm saying? So ultimately, man, it's about making sure that you guys are always working on ourselves, specifically as men, Black men in America, but also allowing ourselves the space to really break down what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Break down what's going on with us, break down who we really fuck with, why we fuck with them, why are they around us? Do they do what they do or what they represent what you represent. And it's not to say that you got to cut them off completely, but you can only fuck with them in certain situations because you are, for the most part, what and who you are around. You get what I'm saying? And ultimately, if you want change, you got to change that. You know what I mean? And I preach that to the kids I work with on a daily basis. It's just crazy because it's coming to me because when I think about my cousin Train, he was that. He was like one person to really lock in and focus him up and give a fuck. Not saying because everybody around him was loving because he was product of what he was built in. But I always just think about how smart he was and if it was applied in other places. You know what I mean? I always think about how intelligent he was, the way he was with words and speaking, if he was able to control his emotions, be more accountable about what sent him through the roof, because we all know he was a live wire, which was hard because also he had other things that fought that. But it's just always something I think about specifically to him. And then also thinking about the kids I work with, I always tell them that. I always tell them just, you got to know what triggers you because you're the only one that's in control of your emotions. And the way you express that emotion can dictate the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So I just think it's something that we always need to talk about and always need to be aware of. The other thing I wanted to talk about was kind of flipping back to the conversation we had before. For us, it's like, specifically, I know a lot of times, like, men, we so fucking stupid. We walk out in the world, we like, yo, can we provide? Can we perform, for a lack of a better term? Is we getting money, anything like that? Those things kind of allow us to, if all three of those things are in place, wake up in the beginning of the day and feel like, yeah, I'm doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm him, I could take the day on for the most part. If any of those things are fucked up though, your day is kind of off, right? And then we start depending on other people to fill that cup. So our significant other, or if we don't have one, in a toxic way or manner, we'll try and find all the chicks we could fuck with to make us feel like we the man. Or just put ourselves in other spaces that fill us up and tell us, yo, pause, but tell us, yo, you good, you're him, or whatever. Some of those things is just surface level. But a lot of that shit be for the chicks. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, I need a chick to for this way or some shit like that. My message to y'all, secondly, is, fellas, just focus on the work, bro. Just focus on the work. Focus on what you do. Focus on who you love, who's there in your corner. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, she will come. And the things that you want. When I mean she, it could be anything. It could be specifically, it could be the goal that you're reaching. It could be anything that you deem that you want in your possession. What I am saying though is you got to focus on you and the work. You can't focus on you and how your work affects A, B, C, and D, unless they're in that circle of people who are fully invested in knowing where to like to go. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, fellas, she gonna fuck with you as long as you got it. You know what I'm saying? So why not? If you don't got it, your chances are motherfucking worse. You get what I'm saying? If you don't got the work, if you don't got shit, your chances are pretty much lower. Now, granted, I'm not saying that niggas have scored broke, as I said in the last statement. However, what I am saying though is specifically a message to us. A lot of times we do things for the approval of others, or we do things for a result that we want, or a result that we're trying to get from somebody else. I'm saying, or validation that we're trying to get from somebody else. When ultimately, It's still in front of your face. And I'm learning this in real time. So believe you me, when we talking, this is shit that I am working with on a daily basis. You know what I mean? But as they come to me, I bring them to y'all. And mostly it's just that you just got to focus on the work. The more focus you on your grind or whatever it is that you necessarily like, everything else will come. The girl will see and like your grind and follow. The job or the other people that you where you will hopefully see what you want or see the work ethic that you have and put you in the place you need to be in. But also, while we're focusing on the work, fellas, you also got to appreciate who you are in the moment. You know what I mean? So it's a mix of both. It's focusing on the work and appreciating who you are in the moment, because we always wake up selling ourselves short because somebody telling us we ain't that, right? But y'all have accomplished something. If you're a good dad, you and your kids, you accomplished something. Every last one of us have done something. We ain't been alive doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my most tangible moments to this, or relatable moments, I guess I could say, to me saying about focus on the work and other things will come, is that you work all your life, right? And that's what I mean by just pass you by because you just expected to do shit. But you work all your life. I'm 30, I just turned 36. So you just fucking been working since I was like 15 years old. So there's this thing we build called the resume, right? And a lot of times while we just going through life working because it's expected to do, sometimes you go to your job, you at a high, you feel like you're the man, you accomplish everything, you're doing what you need to do, you made progress, you made a difference at your job, or you made a difference at whatever it is your goal is, what you're trying to do. But then there's days you wake up and you feel like, I ain't did shit, I ain't shit, don't feel like doing shit. Nobody at work appreciates shit. You just have these days. I think for men specifically, or just people specifically, we have those moments, right? But I mentioned the resume because there was a time, I think within this last year, where job change was needed, job change came. And the job I was currently in, because there wasn't, I feel, an end game or a place that I could see where I was going specifically in the short term, after being there for a certain time and then taking a little, you know what I'm saying, taking a motion, really, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, and to stay. When you do things like that, you feel as if you're not, one, you're stagnant and you feel like you ain't doing enough. You feel like everybody around you is passing you by and doing mad, dope, amazing shit. And you just sitting here on a treadmill to nowhere, right? So I kind of got down in that moment. But I had to go apply. Another job opportunity came up. So I'm sitting there, whatever. And then somebody comes up to me and says, yo, you should apply for this. Really looking at you, like how you work, da da da. And in the moment that they saying they like how I work and see what I do, I'm thinking I ain't doing shit. I'm not at my best. I'm not doing that. So boom, we get to the resume. So we make a long story a little bit shorter. And I just looked at all the years and all the jobs I had and the specific profession and field that I worked in for all of that time. And it just took a minute, and I just took a minute. And I didn't, because at the minute I'm like, yeah, just get this up. I was getting ready to get it done and send it out. And shout out my mom's, I'm about to actually interview her soon. She got a new book out about leadership journey. This is messed up, Dukes. I love you. I will get the exact name and post that. But I love you. But I will definitely be interviewing her soon about that. But Dukes looked at me and said, yo, just take a minute and look at all the good shit you did. And I did. And it was something simple as that, right? There was another moment where, shout out my son's mother, it was time. We outgrew each other, right? And I think as a man, you leave situations, and of course, when you had a family, and obviously I was not perfect, nowhere close to it. You have a family, you believe that that's what it's supposed to be from the time you have your kid all the way through. And shit gets rough, right? You grow distance, we grow apart, dumb shit, not perfect. But when you leave that, and any man that's been through that situation, it wasn't a divorce, but I was with his mother for a long time, you automatically feel like you failed. You know what I'm saying? You just feel like you failed. You feel like, and then you start replaying every little thing you didn't do and things like that. But again, it was Mom Dukes. You know what I'm saying? She is the place where I could stash my bad days. You know what I'm saying? And I'm her place where she can stash them as well. So I think we're good for each other in that moment. But shout out Dukes again. It was in that moment moment when I felt like shit, felt like nothing, felt like I let my son down, let myself down, let my family down, moving my shit out the crib, all of that. It was her again who reminded me, like, yo, it was this. Your son will love you regardless. And it took a minute for me to get there, but you know what it's like. Sometimes you just got to know what you did do. Like, she asked me, Trav, you keep telling me what you failed at. What did you do? And as I kept reminding myself of that, it's like you just got to focus on the work. You got to focus on the good shit, and things will come. It will get greater later, as one of my man said in that specific moment. Actually, when I was going through it, so a lot of today's pod and a lot of these pods by myself, man, are going to be just about real shit, about what I feel throughout the week. What the fuck is going on in my head, and different things that I think us as young Black men and women just need to have conversations about. Of course, a lot of fun things as well too, and then of course we'll do that again on the other pod. But nah, man, I just wanted to really get into just some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you take anything from the pod today, there's a few things I need you to take from the pod today. One, happy birthday to the gang. Z Mac, King, Rolly. Love y'all. That's number one. Number two, focus on the work, man. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Focus on the work, focus on you. Life is precious, it's fickle, so make sure that you take advantage of every single opportunity that you can, but also do the work daily to grow daily, love daily, and show up the way you need to daily, right? And then lastly, man, as much as we are all chasing something, I don't want y'all to become complacent. Just look in that mirror every day and give yourself a chance to be content with what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Take a flashback, 5 minutes of your day. Just think about the shit you did do good. You know what I'm saying? The things that you have accomplished. And to let you know that anything in front of you that you're feeling like you can't is clearly just a roadblock, something that you'll get over and be able to accomplish your goal at some point. But again, man, I do want to take a little 10-second moment of silence for my man Train before I get out of here. And then again, man, that was another episode of What's the Status, Travis. Let me know how y'all feel, how it was going, how it worked. Shout out to y'all. But again, love you, Train. Always in my heart. Long live the Train. The Jets got a miracle win this past weekend, so I know you was with us. I love you, dog. We out.